Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Bridget Ngana is my name, and if you're new here, please welcome to this community. Here we really tell stories that are people-centric. And so last week, when the country mourned the death of the late Raila Odinga, the former Prime Minister, I got an opportunity to speak with Koigi Wamwere. Anyone who knows Koigi Wamwere, his history with the history of this country when it comes to multi-party democracy are really intertwined, and he's one of the people who were detained alongside Raila Odinga when they were pushing for this country to have multi-party democracy, when they were really against dictatorship in the country. And so when I spoke with Koigi, one of the things, the feedback that I got is from the people who watched the story, is that he is slow in his speech and kind of looks sick or ailing. But I can confirm to you guys, Koigi is well. It's just that he's telling me that some of the reasons or why he looks like he is not feeling well or he looks ill is because of the impact of the torture that they went through during that time they were incarcerated or detained without trial. One of the things that he also talked about was his relationship with Raila Odinga, and he felt that he was like a comrade at arms in the fight for justice and social equity. And he mentions a lot about being drawn to Raila Odinga through his father, the late Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, whom he really says he is aligned with him in terms of ideology. So please watch this video. This is part of the extended interview where he talks about his history with Raila Odinga, what he really wished Raila could do or do better, and just his insights on, some of the challenges we're facing currently as a country and what he feels as an elder in the fight for multi-party democracy, or in the fight for democracy, we need to do as the new people or the Gen Zs take charge of the fight for justice in this country.
We must say that the loss of Raila Odinga is a huge loss to the family and even to the nation. And so I wish to offer my condolences to the whole family, to his friends, comrades, and other people with whom he has lived his life. He is greatly missed, and will be greatly missed by many people. So my condolences go to the family. Unfortunately, his father is also not there. He used to be a political friend. And then we hope that the family will get the strength it needs to overcome the loss of their member. Yeah.
For you, Raila and you are like the modern day symbols, or like the present day symbols of the fight for multi-party democracy. He has a history of being detained, and you also have a history of being detained. Can you just tell us maybe the instances where you've interacted with the late Raila Odinga in detention? Maybe.
First of all, let me say that detention for us was a terrible experience, and we endured a lot of it, to the extent that if you count the years that Raila was in detention, it is a whole 9 years, which is slightly shorter than mine, which was 13 years. But it was terrible experience. I actually don't think that there is any other form of imprisonment that can equal detention. Detention is worse than even ordinary imprisonment, because they deny you everything, and their intention is to destroy you before they release you, or release you after they have crushed you. The best example of that kind of destruction is Matiba. Matiba was terribly destroyed by disease in detention. But the rest of us also suffered the same. This is why Raila has a wink of the eye, because the eye got it. No, not Matiba. Raila. Once the eye was damaged, it hasn't been able to recover. Similarly, myself, I didn't wear glasses before I went to detention. But after some short time, I started seeing stars whenever I looked upon the wall of prison. And I had to be taken to Kenyatta Hospital for treatment. But even if I restored, my eyesight was restored, it was not completely so. And that's why I have eyeglasses.
Mheshimiwa, tell us how you first met Raila. If you remember, how did you first meet Raila? And did you guys also maybe click something that united you in the time when you guys were fighting for democracy?
Let me say that I cannot exactly remember where I met Raila. It was either in a by-election for the Nyeri seat, where some of us stood up and declared that we wanted to support Waruru Kanja for the Nyeri seat. And I think we protested from different corners. We protested against interference with the by-election. Yeah, Waruru Kanja was put into detention, was put into small prison. Or in a Kamete prison has the bigger part of it and a smaller part of it. After there was a conflict in Parliament regarding who killed Tom Mboya. And Waruru Kanja said that Tom Mboya had been... I actually said that Tom Mboya was killed by the government. And there was very strong reaction from Waruru Kanja, who said that the person who had actually killed Tom Mboya was the big man. The big man was understood to be Kenyatta. So there was very strong reaction from Jonjo. And Waruru Kanja, first the family reacted to my statement in Parliament by telling me to keep off the matter. But when we went to Parliament, I insisted that it was the right of the nation to demand to know who killed Tom Mboya.
Okay.
And we could not be silenced.
Okay.
So at the same time, Waruru stood up and he said that he talked about the big man.
Okay.
And the big man led to his being arrested. And after, then there was our demand of, or we agreed that we needed to support someone who had been on our side by going to Nyeri.
Okay.
And that's where, when I went to Nyeri, I met Raila. Because Raila was a lecturer and was spending most of his time at the university. And so, and was therefore was not easy to meet. Yeah.
What was your relationship with Raila Odinga after you met and you became more or less like comrades? How do you remember him?
You see, Raila was easy to notice because his father was very popular. He is the one who had written that book, Not Yet Uhuru, which was an explanation of what was wrong with the Kenyan system. And he was, at that time, there was the denial by the government that there was anything wrong with the system. But for us, it is, Jaramogi is saying that there was something, or there was everything wrong with the system, was something that all of us would agree with, because it was easy to see what was wrong with the system. So when I met him, we struck some agreement, and we also agreed that to change the system, we needed to be active and come together, study, and Raila used to come he used to belong to the same study group with myself. And so we would meet at Kenyatta University, and we would study some political literature, and then we would agree to meet again and to recruit as many people as possible so that we could bring change to the country. It was not just Jaramogi who agreed that there was something wrong with the system, or no, it was not yet Uhuru. J.M. Kariuki had said that we did not get independence so that we could have a society or a nation of 10 millionaires and 10 million beggars. We all agreed that that is not the type of society that we wanted. We needed to reverse the system so that you had 10 millionaires composed of ordinary people and 10 millionaires of ordinary and 10 millionaires of the rich. who wanted to keep all the wealth to themselves. So after we had made these observations, the young people were beginning to question whatever was wrong with our system, and we to commit ourselves to waging a campaign and a struggle against the government until either it changed or we were able to bring it down. Mm-hmm. But we were in agreement that the country needed change. And anybody who was of that mind, like Raila, who would seek out others like us who were also of the same mind. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so after that we were detained together after the coup. But I was detained from Parliament, while he was detained from the university where he worked. Mm-hmm. I think from that time on, we kept very close relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Are you happy that you and Raila got to live to see some of the fruits of the fight that you guys put in? For example, the new constitution. For example, you also winning cases that you lodged against the former regime that had done injustice against you. So are you, as you sit here, are you happy that you and Raila got to see some of the fruits of the fight you put in?
Yes, we are happy that we have made some progress, but we are also fairly disappointed that the amount of changes that we have that accrue to our struggle is the amount is quite small, because, like, for instance, you talk about winning cases. Mm-hmm. And it is something worthwhile to go to court and win a case against it. But the system has undergone very little change, and that's why we were able to continue to struggling, mm-hmm. because we feel that what we need is more than what we have. Like the case against torture, mm-hmm. that I took to High Court was an attempt to challenge the torture as it is in the society and as it continues to be in detention, mm-hmm. because we still have detention. And also against torture in our prisons, mm-hmm. Not to mention in other institutions. Mm-hmm. But it is very annoying to win a case where a judge dares to rule that we don't qualify for to be for anything that suggests that there was torture. Mm-hmm. You know this lady called Mombi Ngugi. Mm-hmm. She was the judge in my case. And she made a ruling that during the time of since independence, there was no torture in our penal institutions. That what we had been made to suffer was discomfort in prisons, but not torture. So that decision convinced me that we still have a very long time to go to be able to attain the kind of society that that myself, Raila, and many other Kenyans had agreed to continue fighting against. Because what point is there in saying that we have a multi-party system or a judiciary that dares to deny torture in our prisons or in our detention camps? The very fact that we continue to have detention, which is a form of torture, or the greatest torture that this country can have. It continues to put us into trouble because it is denied. So I'm still determined to advance, to take that case to the East African Court, because even the Supreme Court agreed with Justice Ngogi that there is still torture, and we should therefore not ask for much compensation. So the struggle is not over, and Raila, this should not be the time for Raila to die, because we haven't discussed with him exactly whether the tactics that we are using in fighting oppression and the problems that continue to plague the country, whether those means of fighting are the best for us to apply. But generally, nothing much has changed in the country. We still have very bad leadership. We have very bad, which has been a result of much of the problems that we have. Then, of course, we have a bad system that encourages or behaves as if the most natural thing to have and to continue having is corruption. In addition, we still have negative ethnicity or tribalism, as it was taught to us by the colonialists in their effort to keep the country divided in order to be able to destroy it. So we still have problems. And Odinga's statement that not yet Uhuru is still valid. And Raila was a good part of the army that was fighting. But some people feel that sometimes he was conceding too much to the system. Though people cannot agree with one another 100% over their struggle and against their struggle for change. That is still necessary to put things right as they should, if we are going to have better country, which we deserve.
Yeah, on that last statement. Oh, yeah, you can have something to drink. But on that last statement, Mheshimiwa, as you take a sip of your juice, you personally, when you say that people might think that sometimes he gave way too much, he capitulated, what do you think? What does that make you? Do you also hold that belief that every time he gave in and decided to maybe have a handshake or support the regime of the day, was he betraying the cause that you guys have been constantly fighting? And you had said he's a comrade. So
we have talked with the Raila over what method to use in fighting for change. And Raila is of the view that in the struggle for change, people will use different means to get what we want. Some will use tactics that are fairly right, and the others will use strategies that are long-term, so that you don't have to use the same method to achieve change. So personally, I would have preferred a system that is more in conflict with that is more in agreement with the systems that are required now, that will deliver more change in a faster way, rather than trying to join the system and then forcing it to deliver things to individuals. If individuals are happy, most likely they will not register themselves to the army of change. They will want to enjoy what the system has granted to them as a means of making them more amenable to it. So there was therefore that disagreement. There are some people who completely concluded that Raila and some others of us that we have conceded too much. Like, for instance, there are people who don't believe that Parliament can be an instrument of change, or it is part of the struggle, fighting to go to Parliament and fight from there. They feel that Parliament is already compromised as one of the instruments of struggle, and it should not be used, or nobody should claim that they gain anything by fighting from inside Parliament. But having been to Parliament, I know that it can actually be used to achieve more change, but it can also be very compromising and very dangerous because it has been dominated. It has been dominated by the ruling elite, and it is being used to sabotage change rather than to implement it. So again, it's a question of how much we can agree to surrender in order to move forward. But in the overall, I would say that what we have achieved is worthwhile. It is better if you compare the torture and the cruelties that a house like this has seen in the course of our life from since independence. Most of our institutions will tell you that there has been more betrayal than concessions coming from the system. And that's why our system destroys people like us or people like Raila, because some of the things that have destroyed, that has probably made Raila sick, are the same systems that killed medically, killed Matiba medically. So we have to be careful to try and make sure that we are able to attain the most fundamental means of change and forms of change, so that even if we have not been able to attain most of what we want and need and deserve, that we have majority change that can maintain us in a society that is not killing us on a daily basis.
When you see other people who have been differing with Raila politically, they are now singing his praises. Do you think that's being hypocritical, or it's typical of Africans that we do not speak ill of the dead?
When we criticize the dead, we are not speaking ill. I think it is very necessary to be able to judge our systems critically, so that we can take from it the maximum that we can. If I have seen people when they die, it's not them that actually ask not to be criticized. It is the living that protect themselves through concessions that we make to the dead, even when we know that we are hypocritical in the way we deal with people who have left us, because either we fear that we will go to heaven and be criticized or even be punished. So we hope that we want the dead, when they leave us, to be rather soft with us in their critique of ourselves from on high. So it's like we are pleading with the God on behalf of the dead. Yet the dead will not have asked that we protect them. We don't know how much power they have, but I believe that having left us, it doesn't matter what we think about them. We should continue the struggle until the time we shall die, to be able to die with a clean conscience, irrespective of how the dead react to us.
So you think the politicians who are now saying that Raila was good,
A lot of
when
them
he was
are
alive, they were saying he's bad. So what do you think about that?
That's the problem with our leaders. They fight for power in whatever circumstances. During birth, they will fight for power. During normal lives, we will be fighting for power. And even when in death, we still want to do our campaigns with the dead, because it seems like anybody that from whom we can secure some gain is somebody for us to make to campaign with, if we have access to them. I think our leaders are as dishonest as they are with the dead as they are with the living, and they don't impress me at all, especially when they will want to pretend that the dead were flawless. The dead were not flawless, and they will go like that to the next world. What we should worry about is whether, as before we died, whether there is anything we had done that is likely to earn some points in terms of when we get to heaven and become subjects of God's scrutiny.
So maybe finally, in your recollection, will we see an end of the impact Raila had now that he is dead, or there will be a rebirth also of the fight to ensure that Uhuru is achieved? You've said you've achieved some wins, but the fight still continues.
I think that things will not stop moving in a particular direction to the benefit of the poor. I will be surprised if the poor will give up the struggle for change merely because Raila is not with us. Raila will fight, I believe, in heaven. Unless he gives up, most likely, and it is not possible to give up against forces in heaven. I think we should ask Raila and the other people who die every day to realize that the system that we have is the one that is most to blame for their death, because some of these deaths are not should not be there. You know, if you die because you have no medical attention, as Raila seems to have been forced to resort to attention by an Indian hospital, which should never have been the case. If somebody has 8 illnesses or diseases because the medical system is not able to fight for the health of everybody, such a system should be fought against, whatever Raila thinks about it. My own feeling is that Raila was not ready to go. I think he wanted to be able to continue his fight against the system. If he was ready to go, I will say no to him. Especially if he says that we should continue to make concessions that could have some which may have costed him his life. So I wish Raila the best in heaven, as I wished him the best while he was here on earth. And I hope he will plead with God for our behalf, because things are not I'm trying to get a phrase to say that things are not perfect. Yet we should not give up. We should try to make them as perfect as we can. So, my friend Raila, keep the good fight in heaven against any rebellion from Satan. And we shall also try to be as faithful to his belief in change. If we can do that, I think all of us will have qualified for a better life here and in the hereafter.
Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll be giving you the deets on all the gist that is happening behind the scenes.